Hello and welcome to Step Outside. I'm your host, Pete Curé. The beautiful Red Rocks of Sedona are known for their spectacular views, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of some of my favorite pools and water features that take advantage of this beautiful scenery. The extraordinary pools and water features located in the Figer Residence in Sedona's Enchantment Resort will surely leave you in awe. If exercising is more your thing, we've got a great lap pool to show you. All that and more on this episode of Step Outside. The first stop on our tour takes us to this magnificent estate located in the Enchantment Resort. We've actually been working on this project for well over 8 years because it seems like it's never ending. Every time Jeff Figer comes out, he comes up with a new project for us to dive into. But let's start by diving into this really hot all-tile spa. Imagine yourself in here with the therapy jets on, soaking your body while you soak up this magnificent view. And if you get too hot in here, all you need to do is take a couple steps out and go dive into the cold plunge. But don't stay in there too long because it's kept at 40 degrees. Dive in and get out. Now, many of you are familiar with the typical three-tiered carved stone Spanish fountains, kind of like this one, but not really like this one. This is far from typical. This fountain is over 14 feet tall. Massive carved stone bowls. Really difficult to get these in place. We had to use a crane, and it was really difficult to get the plumbing to go all the way up through them. We actually have to have plumbing in the middle bowl and the top, or we wouldn't get the flow of water all the way around just coming from the top basin. So a lot of work to get this in, but it's kind of like we got our own private resort fountain right here because this is a resort for one person and his family. Now, in addition to that, we have 7, 8, 9, I don't know, I've lost count on how many other fountains we have on this property. They're all throughout the garden. There are wall fountains. There are carved stone bowl fountains. There are carved pot fountains. There's a little frog fountain. In addition to those fountains, there's this really cool reflecting pool off the main body of the house. And in addition to that, there's this really long natural stream that starts out way up at the top part of the property, works its way in between the buildings and the walks, and ends up down here at the driveway level. Over 40 feet of elevation change right there. But we've recently just added a really cool little pool for the little kiddies. Let's go take a look at that. Now this area is the latest addition to this whole property, and this was quite a difficult thing to work out. This hill was so steep, we literally had to tie a rope to a tree to hang on to while we were hanging onto the tape measure with our other hand, just to make sure that we could get everything in here that we wanted. This ends up being the kids' casita. When they're young, they'll stay here with the nannies, but when they're older, they're really going to enjoy their own private space. But this property did not have a pool until we built this area here. Now, it's not very large, but it's the perfect size for the whole family to kind of just get in here, play around in the pool, cool off, and take in the surrounding scenery. Now, let's go take a look at another pool. Now, this next pool on our tour is a pool for function. It's actually designed as a lap pool to get great exercise in. As you can see, it's about 12 feet wide, but 40 feet long. So you can really get some good exercise in this pool. But it's also one of our pools, so it couldn't just be that. We had to add a few little frills. This pool actually has a negative edge, and there's a separate water feature at this end of the pool in the garden that gives us that nice sound of the flowing water in this space. Now, this pool was pretty difficult to build because that's Oak Creek right down there. We had no access with equipment coming up there. The house was already built, so we had this narrow little access way at the very far end that we could shuttle in dirt and rocks and take stuff out with a tiny bobcat. One difficulty is that the shotcrete pump had to sit over 300 feet up on the street above, so we had a lot of hose and that wanted to keep jamming up on us. It took us 2 days to shoot this pool, but you can see the end result is beautiful. It's also got an automatic pool cover on it, so they can keep this pool covered and keep their heat in this pool and swim all year round. And speaking of heat, we do have the regular gas heater for the quick demand heat, but they've got a state-of-the-art glycol solar heating system on this pool, which will pretty much pay for itself in just a couple of years. So after you've done with your hard workout in the lap pool, you can come up here to this spa, heat it up, and soothe all those aching muscles. Now this spa is actually built about 10 feet out of the ground. We had to build a cylinder of masonry all the way around, run our plumbing in it, and then backfill and compact that until we got to the height where we wanted to build the spa. After that, we could finish off with the construction of the spa itself. But this is a great place to be. It's almost like an eagle's nest perch to sit up here, soothe your body, and take in the great view. Next up, a truly spectacular pool where no detail was spared. And not all backyards have room for a pool. We'll show you how one family used a different kind of water feature to achieve tranquility.